Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I'm your host Safa and you are listening to Crime Pod. Last time I covered the case of Meg Bukhari. If you haven't stumbled upon that video, I have already given the link in the description box of this video. Do check it out. There is a saying that 1,000 lies are needed to hide one. And sometimes when a person can't control the situation with their gaslighting, they resort onto something much more heinous. Something criminal, something incomprehensible. Today's case is about a woman who, in order to hide her secrets, get hold of the property and to marry the man she fancied, didn't thought for a second what impact her dastardly actions will have on others. From year 2002 to up until 2016, the Indian state of Kerala witnessed the strange deaths of 6 family members. For a time, people thought that maybe the house is cursed, haunted or something. But when police untangled the threads of this mystery and nabbed someone, everyone was shocked. Today's case is the infamous curry and cyanide case, the case of Jolly Amma Joseph. Jolly Amma Joseph, whom everybody referred to as Jolly, was born in 1972 and was the 5th of the 6 children born to C.C. Joseph and Tresima in Vada Vada, Idiki, Kerala, India. Joseph family was among many others who migrated to foothills of Western Ghats to cultivate the land. C.C. Joseph had moved to Kattapanna from Balakottayam in the 1950s. When Jolly was a young girl, her family was making a comfortable living for themselves, along with them farming pepper on 2-acre strip of land near Kattapanna town. The family also operated 2 ration shops under the government public distribution system. Now if we talk about Jolly's childhood, her demeanor and her behavior with her family, her brother said, among us siblings, she was the only one no one fought with. As a child, she never said anything that would lead to a fight. Neither did she create trouble for anyone. She was very caring. This suggests to us that Jolly in her younger days was a timid and well-behaved kid who helped her siblings and was rather indifferent to the things happening around her. In simple, she was as normal as the next person. Jolly attended the St. Mary's High School in Vada Vada and got her high school diploma from there. She then went on to pursue a pre-degree in humanities at the Muslim Educational Society College in Kattapanna. First in the family to pursue higher education, Jolly completed her BCom from Muslim Educational Society College in Kattapanna. She told us she wanted to study further and we enrolled her in a parallel college in Kattapanna for MCom. Jolly dropped out from college in the first year, but she lied to her family that she had completed her MCom. Sometime around the year 1997, the Joseph family went to attend the housewarming party of Manjadil Matthew, who was C.C. Joseph's brother-in-law. It was in that party that Jolly met Roy Thomas, nephew of Manjadil Matthew. Jolly and Roy began to talk to each other, shared phone numbers, and would soon go into the habit of calling each other. Talking for hours on end, it was the start of a romance which led to Thomas sending a marriage proposal for Jolly. Eldest of Tom Thomas and Anamma Thomas children, Roy Thomas had 2 younger siblings named Rojo Thomas and Renji Wilson. Manjadil Matthew was against this marriage alliance between the 2 families because he knew everything about Roy, the fact that he was unemployed and didn't have a good eyesight. In Manjadil's eyes, made Roy unsuitable as a groom for Jolly. But the marriage took place in spite of Matthew's disapproval because love-struck Jolly was insistent on marrying Roy. According to Jolly's brother Nobi, Roy told them that he was employed and earned 25,000 to 30,000 per month. Despite Matthew's uncle's warning, we never questioned Roy, said Nobi. Roy's father Tom was a retired teacher who had worked with the state education department, and his mother Anamma Joseph was also a retired teacher. After their marriage in 1997, Jolly moved to her in-laws' house, a pastel pink 3-story house in Koodathayi in Kozhikode district of Kerala, India. In 1999, Roy and Jolly had their first son, who they christened Romo Roy. The couple had their second son, Renald Roy, in 2004. As all of the Thomases were highly educated, retired from well-off posts and highly respected individuals in Koodathayi, Jolly was subjected to the pressure of earning her place in the family. Jolly's mother-in-law, Anamma Thomas, wanted Jolly to get a teaching job because she thought it would be folly for Jolly to not work as she had a master's degree. She even thought of talking to Jolly's father about her job, but as I told you earlier that it was all fake. Jolly had no master's degree. She dropped out in her first year. Things began to heat up between Jolly and her mother-in-law. Jolly now became afraid of her mother-in-law because she was closing in on her lie, on the cusp of exposing her facade. But in 2002, Anamma at the age of 57 passed away after she consumed mutton soup. It was not the first time for Anamma to have fallen sick, as few months prior to her death, she collapsed after having soup. At that time, doctors revived her, but this time they couldn't. Her cause of death was mentioned as heart attack. After the death of Anamma, the whole responsibility of the household fell on Jolly's shoulder. According to Renji, her behavior changed completely after Anamma's death. She was doing all that Anamma had done for the family, looking after the whole house and all that. She even told Renji that she had to take permission of her before doing anything. Furthermore, she told Renji that her mother left her some gold and money which she mentioned in her diary, and she would be getting just that and no share in the property. Renji also said Jolly was doing all the work systematically, be it household or outdoor related, whatever mother used to take care of, so in such matters she became the prime person in the family. As the time passed, Jolly thought that the respect Anamma had in her life was because she was a teacher. So one day, out of blue, she told her family that she had got the job as a guest lecturer in National Institute of Technology, Calicut. She said that it was temporary, but it had the prospect of one day becoming permanent. Everybody was very pleased by Jolly's achievement. In the community, Jolly was known as kind-hearted, perfect wife, perfect mother, and perfect daughter-in-law, who ran her house and worked her job and at the same time looked after her family. Renji got married and moved to Colombo while Rojo was already settled in US as he had studied there and after that started to work there. The family who lived in Koodathayi after Anamma's death include Tom Thomas, Jolly and Roy and their two sons, Roy's cousin Shaju Zachariah, who was the son of Tom's brother Zachariah, Saju's wife Silly Saju and their son Abel and 2-year-old daughter named Alpine. The family was happy living their lives, but in 2008, Tom, aged 66, died of heart attack. The doctors in Shanti Hospital in Umasri ruled the cause of his death as heart attack. There was foam coming out of Tom's mouth, but they didn't pay heed to it. After his death, now it was the time to carry out his will. It was obvious that his land and the house were going to be equally divided among Roy, Rojo and Saju. But something strange and unanticipated happened. Tom changed his will just 3 months before he died, and in his new will, he transferred all of his property to his daughter-in-law, Jolly Joseph. This left everybody flabbergasted. There was nothing to prove that this was the original will of Tom, and another strange point is that the will was unsigned. Rojo filed a case against Tom's will for the equal distribution of the property, but the family turned against him, saying that he was being greedy. In 2011, 3 years after Tom's death, Roy, aged 40, died mysteriously. He had his dinner, felt a little uneasy and went to bathroom where he fell unconscious. On his way to the hospital, he died. Everybody thought that it might be suicide because the bathroom door was locked from the inside and also he was struggling with his job at that time. Just like his parents, Roy also experienced seizures before his death, and Roy's uncle Matthew Munjadil was sure that something was amiss. It makes sense in Anamma and Tom's case. They were aged, but Roy, how could he have died at such a young age and too in an eerily similar fashion to his mother and father? Moreover, he didn't think that Roy can commit suicide, so he asked for post-mortem. Everyone was against this, but he kept on asking for a post-mortem to clear his doubts. So Roy's body was sent for an autopsy, in which traces of sodium cyanide were found in his stomach. a substance used at jewelry shop for extracting or electroplating gold. But this was not probed further as the Koodathayi police closed the case, calling it as a death by suicide. Because Jolie, Roy's wife, told police that he was facing financial issues and was disturbed. Matthew Munjadil was dissatisfied by this, so he kept on searching for the real cause behind the death of the three family members. But sadly, in 2014, he died. Shockingly, he died just like the other three family members whose cause of death he was fervently searching for. That same year, Saju's 2-year-old daughter Alfine died due to choking. This was the fifth death in the family, and everybody was now thinking that the house might be cursed. Then in 2016, Saju's wife Silly Saju, aged 41, died. Everyone just assumed that she died of depression because of the death of her daughter. But both mother and daughter showed eerily similar symptoms: seizures, apnea, and foaming in the mouth. No one paid heed to this, and once again the mysterious death in the family was left uninvestigated. As Saju lost both his wife and daughter, he was feeling rather lonely. So in 2017, Jolie and Saju got married. It was shocking for everyone that how easily Jolie moved on from Roy, who loved her so acutely, but they didn't voice question because it's her right to choose a better life. But seeing this all unfold, one person in the family couldn't sit idle, and that was Rojo. He came back to India in hope of finding the real perpetrator. He had the autopsy report of Roy and a copy of his father's supposed will. He asked police to start investigation and showed his suspicion on his sister-in-law. Police under SPKG Simon IPS initiated an investigation, and a shocking picture began to emerge. Jolie lied about her MCom degree. She also lied about her job and other certificates. Police went to NIT, but the dean told them that they haven't heard of any Jolie Joseph. She faked her job for nearly 2 decades. How anyone in the family couldn't find out about her job is perplexing. But she daily went to her job, spent most of the time roaming the roads and in the canteen of NIT college. She even bought an apartment for her. Roger was shocked on hearing it. When Jolie began to transfer all the property on her name, Rojo filed an injunction against that, preventing her from transferring. In 2019, Rojo asked Vada Vada police to exhume the bodies of his family members to clear his doubts. A medical board was formed comprising of neurosurgeons, journal medicine doctors, and forensic surgeons of Kozhikode Medical College. The bodies were sent to the coroner office, and one after the other, the cause of all deaths were determined to be poisoning. Sodium cyanide traces were found in all bodies, proving that all the deaths were in fact murder. After this revelation, on 5th October 2019, Jolie Joseph, aged 48, was arrested. During investigation, she told police about what happened, but her statements didn't match with the facts. She told police that Alfine died due to choking, but witnesses said that the child cried. However, the medical board pointed out if it was a case of choking, as Jolie had stated, the child would not have been able to cry and must have lost consciousness. As medical reports and teams were proving Jolie's narrative as nothing but smoke and mirrors, Jolie spilled the beans and told everything. What had happened during the time span of 14 years from 2002 to 2016. Now I am going to tell you about what really happened, what Jolie told police while in custody, and what was the motive behind all these deaths. The first death that occurred in 2002 was of Anamma Thomas. Jolie gave her mutton soup laced with sodium cyanide, which resulted in her death. She slowly poisoned her by giving her a small amount of cyanide daily. The motive behind Anamma's killing was that Anamma was on the cusp of exposing her lies about her education. The second death, which was in 2008, was of Tom Thomas. Jolie gave him cyanide in the capsules he took. This time, her motive of killing was to get all of his property. As I told you earlier that Tom's will was changed 3 months before he died, so the new will was not of Tom's but a forged one by Jolie. I know you guys might be thinking that how Jolie get the cyanide as it can't be available locally. So here comes a new character, MS Matthew. Don't get him confused with Matthew Munjadil. he is another Matthew. Matthew MS was a jewelry shop employee and also a distant relative and lover of Jolly. He was the one who provided Jolly with the cyanide. He was arrested and reportedly told the police that he procured the cyanide from Praji Kumar, a goldsmith, after giving him 2 bottles of alcohol and 5,000 rupees. Matthews claimed that Jolly asked him for cyanide to kill rats in her house. When Praji Kumar was questioned, he stated that he assumed that the poison was bought to kill rats. The third death was of Roy Thomas. Jolly gave him food with poison in it. After having the food, he began to feel uneasiness and went to bathroom where he died. This time, the motive behind killing was to get rid of Roy because he knew her affair with Matthew MS. After Roy's death, suspicion arose and Matthew Manjidil, the uncle, suspected Jolly, so she killed him by poisoning his drink. The motive was to get him out of her way and to hold on to her lies. Sometime after Roy's death, Jolly had her eyes set on Saju, Roy's cousin. To marry Saju, Jolly first killed his 2-year-old daughter Elfine and then in 2016 his wife Silly by giving her tablets laced with cyanide. She was at her dentist's place, so no one thought that it was a pre-planned murder. This time, the motive was to marry Saju. From all these revelations, it was crystal clear that Jolly killed the 6 just to hide her lies and to grab all the property and live a life of luxury. Jolly Ahmad Joseph is currently being held on remand in Kozhikode District Jail and awaiting trial. She was charged with homicide, criminal conspiracy, and forging documents. The Kerala High Court dismissed her bail petition. The Supreme Court also rejected her review bail petition. Justice Biju Kurain Thomas said the materials on record are sufficient for her conviction, granted that Jolly's defense lawyer couldn't be able to prove anything. Advocate B. Allure, who represented Jolly, had argued that she had been named as an accused without any incriminating evidence against her. She was just connected to the murders just through her statements that were made by her due to threats by investigating agencies. In 2020, while in prison, Jolly slit her wrist but was noticed by jail wardens and was brought to hospital. According to the Hindustan Times, Saju filed divorce papers in court in 2021, citing her criminal past and mindless cruelty. In the petition, he said he was not aware of her past and that he could no longer live with someone accused of murdering 6 people of her and his family, including his wife and child. Jolly's son Romo and Renald was taken in by Renji Wilson. In an interview, Romo said, "I cannot say anything about the case, yet as we all are waiting for the final result in the case. I cannot afford to be worn down by this process as I have to take care of my brother. I have a responsibility that I have to take care of him, so I am going to overcome this and I am going to move on. That's all." The case of Jolly Ahmad Joseph earned a lot of media attention. Numbers of series and videos were made on the infamous case from Kerala. On December 2019, Sony TV's crime series Crime Patrol presented 3 episodes based on Koodathayi incident. If you want to watch those episodes, the number of episodes are 100 to 102. A Malayalam serial named Koodathayi was aired on Flowers TV. On 7 September 2020, Spotify launched a 10-episode original podcast, Death, Lies and Cyanide, narrated by the journalist Sashi Kumar. And last but not least, Netflix also released a documentary film titled Curry and Cyanide, The Jolly Joseph Case. This is all about the case of Jolly Ahmad Joseph, who killed 6 members of her family in the span of 14 years just to hold on to her lies, grab the property, and live a life of luxury. This is the case of Jolly Ahmad Joseph. I hope you liked the case study with me. If you do, like this video, leave a comment if you have any suggestion, subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you're never gonna miss any of the future uploads, share this video with your friends and family, ring the notification bell so you're never gonna miss any of the notification from our future uploads. This is Safa signing off with Crime Pod.